going to be young. We're going to be a very young team, a little bit undersized at spots, but these guys know how to compete. I think this school won like 12 state championships this year. They won one in boys basketball and boys lacrosse, and some of these kids play on those teams. And so they're used to competing, and we're going to have to. We're going to have to be at our best every Friday night to have a shot. I think this league will have 4 playoff spots, and then maybe 1 or 2 more based on the strength of the conference or strength of the league. But you'd like to try to ensure getting one of those 4 spots. That'll be a big challenge. Of these 8 teams that are in our conference, I think 5 are in the top 10 in the state right now in preseason rankings. So that's pretty strong. We got about 5 or 6 game changers on offense that can, make a difference when they have the ball in their hands. So that makes it fun for me. It's fun to design plays and be an offensive coordinator and figure out different ways to get them the football. And we'll have a young group in the offensive line. We'll probably have 3 to 4 sophomores starting in the offensive line. Only 1 starting senior on the offensive line. I think we only have 13 seniors on the entire team, so there's been a lot of attrition over the last couple of years. That class is small, but behind that, our junior class is loaded. Sophomore class last year was 8-0 as freshmen. This incoming freshman class this year was 8-2 and had 2 losses against Southridge last year in 8th grade. So the future is very bright, and we'll see what we can make it out of this year. In terms of a tempo, in football you got to work fast. You got to work with a purpose. You got to work with a tempo, and you got to have an end goal. And our end goal is to get sharp and refined as quickly as we can. What I've noticed from some coaches that were here from last year's group, and from what I understand from last year, was a little bit more of a slower practice pace, maybe a slower teaching pace. My expectation level is high. There's really not those leaders that stand up and lead vocally. I got the Elijah Moldens and the Cody Coppages and Kurt Moons and guys like that, some guys on defense that will lead by example. But at some point in time, you got to have somebody say, all right, enough fellas, let's go, let's pick this up, let's get going. And I got a bunch of quiet kids that just kind of go about their business as a group. And so we've got to find some internal leadership for when we're not on the field as coaches and they're out there, 11 guys on the field, and they got to figure out, okay, who's going to step up and take control of this thing. And that's a big difference, maybe between winning and losing in the 4th quarter.